Welcome to the Explainer. Look, we're in the middle of one of the biggest tech shifts ever, artificial intelligence. So for our first explainer in this series, we're starting from square one. We're going to build a really clear picture of what this AI revolution actually means for all of us. All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll ask, what even is generative AI? Then we'll take a peek under the hood at how an AI thinks. After that, we'll zoom out to see the huge impact it's having on our world, talk about the big one, jobs, and wrap up with how we can all learn to thrive alongside these incredible new machines. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the term that's absolutely everywhere right now, generative AI, or Gen AI for short. What is it, really? Now that is a massive statement, right? But you know what? It really sets the stage perfectly. We're not just talking about some minor software update here. We are talking about a tool that could fundamentally change, well, just about everything. So here's the key difference. The old school AI we're used to is all about recognition. It's great at spotting patterns, like flagging a spam email or recommending a movie you might like. But generative AI, it's all about creation. It doesn't just find patterns, it uses them to make something brand new. And that really gets to the core of it all. AI has always been about trying to copy how we think. But Gen AI is a huge leap forward. It's moving beyond just copying our logic and is now starting to simulate our creativity. So how in the world does a machine learn to be creative? Let's pull back the curtain a little bit and look inside what people often call the black box of AI. Honestly, the best way to get your head around this is to think of an AI's brain as a digital, maybe simpler, version of our own brain. It's built on something called a neural network, which is totally inspired by the web of neurons we all have. So you know how our brain cells are neurons, fire and send signals? Well, an artificial neuron does something similar. It takes in information, but as numbers, and each connection has a weight. You can think of it like a little volume knob that tells the neuron how important that specific piece of info is. The way it learns is basically a super fast, high-stakes game of trial and error. First, you feed it a mountain of data. Then it makes a guess, a prediction. After that, the system checks how wrong it was. That's the error. And this is the magic part. It works its way backward and tweaks all those little volume knobs to do a better job next time. Do that millions or even billions of times, and it gets shockingly good at it. Okay, so we've got this seriously powerful new tool that can learn and create. What does that actually look like out in the real world? Let's check out what this stuff can actually do. I mean, just look at this list. It's wild. It's not just writing essays. We're talking about generating complex computer code, designing lighter and stronger car parts, creating stunning original art, and even composing music. The possibilities are just exploding across pretty much every creative field you can think of. And this isn't some far-off future stuff. It is happening right now. In healthcare, it's helping us find new drugs faster. In manufacturing, it's designing better products. In Hollywood, it's creating mind-blowing special effects. It's really starting to change the DNA of how these industries work. And that, of course, brings us to the question that's on everybody's mind. A technology this big, this disruptive, it's gotta have a huge impact on our jobs, right? Well, let's take a look. Yeah, according to this analysis, pretty much every single job is going to be touched by Gen AI in some way. About a fifth of jobs are considered highly exposed, and almost half are moderately exposed. This isn't some niche tech. It's a force that's going to affect all of us. So the jobs that are facing the biggest changes are the ones built around predictable, repeatable tasks. You know, things like basic data entry, writing simple reports, or customer service calls that follow a script. These are exactly the kinds of things that an AI can do with incredible speed and efficiency. But, and this is a really big but, it's not just about jobs going away. For every task that gets automated, new human skills become way more valuable. I mean, we are literally watching brand new careers get invented that sound like they're straight out of science fiction. Prompt engineers, whose job is to have the perfect conversation with an AI ethics officers. We're not just being replaced, we're becoming the guides, the trainers, and the conscience for these systems. Which brings us to the most important point of all. This isn't a humans versus machines fight. It's about figuring out how we can work with them. So how do we adapt and really thrive in this new world? You see, when an AI can give you an answer in a split second, our most valuable skills become things like asking the right questions, judging if that answer is any good, and tackling messy problems that need real empathy and intuition. The things that make us human are actually becoming our biggest career assets. And this right here is the number one takeaway. This is a tool. It's not here to do our jobs for us. It's here so we can do our jobs better. Think of it less like a robot that replaces a factory worker and more like a power drill that lets the worker build things faster and better than ever before. It's all about augmenting our own skills. And that's really the idea we want to leave you with. As these tools get smarter and smarter, the real question and the real opportunity is deciding how we're going to get smarter right along with them. Thanks for joining us.